in 15 seconds, we'll say the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And for people in the audience, the reason I did this because Commissioner Flores doesn't allow us to get up before he starts saying that. All right, next, we're going to have a first public hearing on the proposed tax rate for fiscal year 2018-2019. So the hearing is now open. Anybody want to say anything on it? For or against the tax rate? Just state your name.
My name is Carlos Coronado. Good morning, Judge
Good morning.
Valdez and County Commissioners. My name is Carlos Coronado, a leader with the board organization. I live in Cienegas, and we're here to show our support for the proposed tax rate. And we look forward to work with you all, identify and resolve issues that affect our community. And we would like to thank the court for having the next meeting on evenings, and thank you all.
Okay. And just for your information, the next hearing will be on Monday at 6 o'clock. Then we're going to really adopt it on Saturday at 8 o'clock in the morning. The reason we did 8 o'clock, because there's other commitments that I had, that's why I had to do it early.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, clarification. So the next public hearing is on the 25th at 6?
No, 24th at 6.
24th, and
Monday.
then what did you say about Saturday?
And Saturday, we adopted whatever we discussed on Monday,
Okay,
okay? But Saturday it has to be early because I have some commitments that I had already planned for before.
what time Saturday?
8 o'clock
8 o'clock.
in the morning,
Oh,
okay?
all
All right, anybody, this is a public hearing, so anybody else want to speak for or against the tax rate? Okay, anybody else? And if not, this hearing is now closed. All right, next I need a motion to approve previous meetings. I don't think we have any. Yeah, I didn't see any. No, I didn't see any, so anybody, I don't have any citizens' comments, nobody filled out a form. So, from there we will jump into item 38, county judge's comments. And on this one here, there's actually two comments I would like to make. I'd like somebody else to take over the Christmas party. Last year we had a lot of problems with it, so I want somebody else to take over. Our office will not be doing it. And second, we also have here, I'm going to introduce to you guys Commissioner's Court, Mr. Adrian Vitela. Would you come up to the podium, please? Adrian is originally from Alamogordo, New Mexico, served 7 years in the Army, ranking as Staff Sergeant in charge of training, maintaining soldier readiness. Adrian has been here in the area for 2 years and has made our town his home. Adrian has 3 children and is one of trailblazers and member of the Teen Pregnancy Prevention Task Force here in Del Rio. Being a veteran, Adrian is well aware and understanding of veterans' needs and is looking forward to working with Valverde County and ensuring that our veterans are given the attention the service they need. Let's please welcome Adrian to the county.
Congratulations.
Okay.
Thank you.
Adrian, you want to add a little bit to it?
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much, Commissioners Court. Thank you, Judge. Good morning. Members of the board. I just want to say I'm very humbled and also very excited for this position. I know that I'm going to help continue to be the beacon of light for our veterans in this community, and I'm here to serve. And again, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Judge,
Go ahead.
could we get a picture with
Yeah.
everybody?
Yeah. Before we get a picture, I know there, Mike Yeager
yes.
is here. He's the Southwest District Manager, claims of representing county. Mr. Yeager, with Texas Veterans Commission. Would you like to say anything, Mr.?
Thank you for quickly appointing and selecting a new county service officer. They're here to help you all and help the veteran population. Last year, Texas Veterans Commission brought in $2.8 billion of the dollars for unfunded tax-free dollars into the state of Texas for 1.6 million veterans. And we do that through the use of Veterans County Service Officers because we can't get out everywhere. My next task now is to train him and bring him up to snuff as fast as possible to maximize his utility to the county. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
And with that, let me also thank my Janice, because she's the mentor, and she was also in the interviewing committee with myself, Juanita, on interviewing these applicants. She's also going to stay around for a while to mentor Adrian around the office. Thanks a lot for helping us out, and you were a great help and a lifesaver.
Since the 1st of September to the 15th of September, we've helped over 300 veterans, and just in 15 days. And so I have a report here, Judge, that if you'd like to
Yeah, I'll just distribute it.
distribute it, please.
Thank you so much.
And I've enjoyed it, and I'm honored to serve.
Okay. Okay, now we would like a picture with Adrian and you people, Mr. Yeager and Janice.
Somebody got a camera.
He's got a camera.
Y'all come right here.
Oh, man. I work as the referee.
That quarter's kind of like.
Yeah. Adrian, Mr. Yeager,
Little bit. Ready? Here you go, Mark. Got it? Good? Thank you.
Welcome aboard, Adrian.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Judge.
Janice, thank you.
Good seeing you.
Juanita.
Thank you very much.
Randy's to make sure he gets that picture in the paper, that way people know.
Adrian, you're welcome to stay, or you need to go work this time. Yeah, go ahead. That's why I put you at the beginning, because I knew you guys had an event.
Thank you.
Judge, real quick, under the county judge's comments, can I have that?
Sure.
As an elected official, would it be possible, for the next meeting, to put something on the agenda to maybe have the Whitehead Museum, maybe them come give us a report
Okay?
and give us an idea
Okay.
of what happened, the incident report or whatever? You know.
Okay, we'll put it on the agenda next week. The Whitehead Museum, give us a report. All right. Now let's go to item number 9, discussion possible action, scheduling date, time, location required for public hearing regarding the fiscal year 2019-2020 Valverde County, Texas CDBG grant application requesting $450,000 from the Texas Department of Agriculture and published notice for public hearing after 5 p.m.
Judge, good morning. You may recall this is the rotation between the city of Del Rio and Valverde County, and it's Valverde County's turn to take their turn to apply for the CDBG funds. The proposed allocation is in the amount of $450,000, and one of the requirements is to conduct a public hearing prior to the application to gather input. And I was going to suggest October the 1st, 2018, 5:30 p.m. here at the Valverde
I'll
County
make a
Court.
motion to set it up to the 1st at 5:30 in the Old County Court.
Second.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. Any more discussion? If not, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Nobody. 5-0. Next, discussion possible action on the correspondence with Pam Wozniak, TDA Environmental Review Specialist regarding the authority to use of grant money for CDBG 7218 075 Colonial Construction Funds.
Judge, you may recall that recently the county was awarded a $500,000 grant from the Texas Department of Agriculture. These funds are prioritized and identified to extend the water lines out there in Rancho Del Rio, Escondido, and San Felipe pastures. So the county has completed the environmental review record on those. This is really a continuation project from the 721-6075 project that is currently being implemented. And this is just information and correspondence from TDA that the county has complied with all the federal and CDBG requirements, and the TDA has issued the authority to use the grant funds.
Okay. I need a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second, Commissioner Wardlaw. Okay, any more discussion? If not, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nobody, 5-0. Next, discussion and possible action on selecting naming a member to represent Val Verde County for the City of Del Rio Parks Recreation Board. And this one here, I was called by the mayor, and they wanted somebody representing the county to sit on this board. And I talked to Coach Frenchy, and he agreed to sit on that on behalf of the county.
Motion to approve.
There's a motion and a second. Any more discussion? Not all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nobody, 5-0. Next, discussion and possible action on the lease agreement between Val Verde County and ABO Youth NFL Flag Football League for the use of the 60-acre field, September 16th to November the 18th.
Motion. Second.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nobody. Oh, and before I leave this, because of the rain, we've been having a hard time mowing those, but they're at it this morning. Hopefully they can do it, and it's dry enough to cut those fields. All right, there's a motion and a second. All those in, oh, we already voted. All right, now let's go to item 13. Discussion and possible action on allowing Sacred Heart School to use the Alcoa field on October 19, 2018.
Motion to approve.
Second, we're not charging them.
No. There's a motion and a second, Commissioner Wardlaw. All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nobody, 5-0. Next, discussion and possible action to approve the U.S. Department of Justice, United States Marshal Service Prisoner Operations Grant Division Agreement, and authorize county judge to sign it. And this is the one that we talked about, went up to $72.50 for, so move.
Second.
Second, any more discussion? Not all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nobody, 5-0. Item 15, discussion and possible action on splitting the San Felipe Del Rio Consolidated School District and Val Verde County on the tax bill.
We got this on the agenda. I think the taxpayers deserve to know what their money's going for. I get a lot of calls from people saying that, their county taxes are ridiculously high. And because of the way that we mail out our tax forms, as we do collect for the school district, it looks like the entire tax bill belongs to the county. I would like to see us split this where we send out one for San Felipe Independent School District and one for the county, so that the people understand what their taxes are and who is charging what.
The splitting, it would be the county and then the hospital together?
Yeah, the county and the hospital, and then split out the school district so that people understand when they get the school district tax bill what it is, and when they get the county's tax bill what it really is.
Okay.
Is this possible?
Well, it's gonna be a double expense.
I understand that.
To what amount?
How about Comstock?
We collect for Comstock too? I would probably want theirs separated too.
What would that expense estimate?
You would be, yeah. It sets the cost back to the agency.
Just the postage, maybe about $7,000.
How much do we collect?
$196,000.
We collect $196,000 from the school district, and from Comstock, what do we collect?
They could all be in the same envelope. They don't have to be separately.
Because I would like it to say San Felipe Independent School District, show their taxes, even though we collect them in the Val Verde County, and then the Comstock Independent School District.
Like right now, we're working on the formula. All we need is the rates.
No, I understand.
Set up the statement. So you're talking about next year?
No, I was talking about this year.
Is this what?
Well, we haven't adopted our rate yet.
Okay, I know.
but we just need to know because we might have to do something different or redo everything. And we work on the levy, we work on all of them together.
What would the estimate be with everything being in the same envelope, the same mailings?
Estimate of the expense right now?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, see,
To separate them out?
if they're all gonna be together right now?
No, to separate them out, like Bo's recommending.
You can put them all in the same envelope, but they would be separate. A separate tax bill, it'd say San Felipe Independent School District and their taxes, Valverde County and their taxes, Comstock Independent School District and their taxes.
See, that would be, the training company would have to do that for us. They would have to do that.
When can you get us an answer on it?
By tomorrow.
I'd like to make a motion that we separate the tax bills.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any more discussion? Now, do you want to make sure the cost, we know the cost before we agree on it?
I don't think the cost really matters.
We're
My
collecting
opinion-
money.
Yeah.
We're collecting money.
The cost shouldn't matter, it's just a matter of if we can get it done.
Yeah.
And then perhaps it could be a one-page statement with the costs broken down.
Well, the page that we have now, the cost is already broken down, but like
Oh,
Commissioner
okay.
Nettleton said, when the phone calls that we get all the time is that every time somebody else moves their tax rate up, it looks like we've done it. Because it's the dollar, they're looking at the
Bottom
total
line.
dollar bottom line.
Because the whole
In
tax.
reality, we're only, out of that whole tax bill, the county is only about 27.5% of that whole tax bill.
Yeah.
And another thing is that mortgage companies already have this information that we collect them all together, so they send one check for other entities.
But you're still collecting them
I
all
mean, you're still
together.
collecting it. You're just sending out a bill that says, instead it says Valverde County and then breaks out school district and all that, it's gonna say, San Felipe Independent School District and their taxes, and one that says Valverde County and their taxes, and one that says Comstock Independent School District and their taxes, so that people understand when they get the bill, what they're paying for the school, what they're paying for the county, and what they're paying for everybody else. So there's no misconception. You know, I get a call from a guy the other day, said, I paid $2,500 in county taxes. No, you paid $300 in county taxes, you paid $2,200 in school taxes. There's a big difference. And
Need to give
people need to
credit where
understand-
credit is due.
They need to understand that when these tax rates are raised, it's not the county that's raising the tax rates. But it looks like that because at the top of it, it says Valverde County.
Yeah, one of the comments that he called, he says, I said, we didn't raise the taxes at all, we left it like last year, and they said, no, I'm paying more taxes this year. I said, well, you're not paying more taxes for us, you're probably paying for the school district, and that's the question they asked.
We're in the city.
You have a-
I think we need to get it done this year.
Kenny?
And B, like Commissioner Nettleton said, if there's an additional cost per taxing entity, you can charge them for it.
Yeah, okay.
And even if we can't collect it,
It
it's still, we
doesn't
need to
matter.
separate it.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Okay, there's a motion and a second, any more discussion or questions? If not, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Nobody? 5-0. Thank you. All right, next. Item 16, discussion possible action regarding the Texas CDBG 72-16075, draw number 11, requesting reimbursement costs for the amount of $3,106.58 for Vega Verde water line project, and authorizing the county judge and the county auditor to sign it.
Motion to approve draw number 11.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Nobody, 5-0. Item 17, question for Counselor. Counselor, can we discuss this in executive session, item 17? Is it worded enough to discuss it in executive session, or we can't?
No.
Well, the way it's worded doesn't really matter. It just depends on what the privileged information is. I can't answer the question because I don't have enough information. Is there a security issue?
No.
Is there a privilege issue?
Matt? Is there?
Yes.
On item 17, why did you want to discuss in executive session?
We want to make sure that we can do it legally.
Legally, we can do
Well,
it.
can we just table this and maybe y'all just go outside and ask real quick and then You can come back to us later?
Well, that kind of makes sense, but that's not the way we usually do things. We can do it. The answer is yes, we can.
No, we just don't have to hold it. I don't think it's executive session material, but if you'll ask her in the hall, then we'll know.
Absolutely, okay.
I'm motion table to bring it back.
Okay. There's motion and second. All those in favor, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nobody. All right, item 18, discussion and possible action approving the new remote desktop service gateway. This new service will allow approved users to gain access remotely to their office workstation while away from the county.
Morning, Judge. Morning. I believe you have a copy of this proposed proposal in your packets. What I'm asking today is if you approve this new service and you allow us to deploy it to elected officials and exempt employees. To be clear, this new service is only benefiting the members of the new domain. In other words, everyone that's in the fiber ring, which includes the courthouse, district courthouse, and library. So eventually, we plan to extend this new service to the auditor's and sheriff's office. It's unlimited. It's at no cost to the county. So we recommend that this new service be approved by the court and managed by the court, very much the way we manage the CFS project. So, not to get into too much detail, but we can bring you the applications for the folks that request this new service. You review the applications for approval if you know.
Does this new service come with a cost? I mean, or is it just...
No, sir.
Your recommendation?
I recommend that you approve.
So moved and second. Any more questions?
Is this a third-party provider? What is this?
No, sir. I'm sorry. No, ma'am. It's all in-house.
It's okay.
It's a benefit from the migration that just took place between all our buildings and the new VM environmental library.
Okay, so
It's at no cost to the county, just the maintenance
service.
on the IT and the approval part on the commission as well.
We'll be able to work from the house.
Yes, there's 4 layers of security. The policy is laid out, the framework, the procedures, and the details of working from home and non-county issued machines. Not sure if you got a chance to look at those.
and then people need to ask for it if they want it, or is everybody just automatically going to get it?
The recommendation I would make initially, because I did reach out to our HR director about this policy, and she has some concerns with compensation for non-exempt employees and non-elected officials. Until those details can be worked out, I recommend that you allow us to deploy this to elected officials and exempt employees. Of course, exempt employees have to go through an approval process of their supervisor first. If that supervisor approves it, then secondly, the court would have the final approval.
Okay. Okay, there's a motion and a second. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nobody. And item 19, discussion of possible action approving the remote access policy and procedures ver 1.1.09.05.2008, which lays out the framework and the new remote desktop service gateway to include the request for remote access form.
Moved.
Second. Moved and second. Any more discussion? Not all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nobody. 5-0.
Is this
Thank you.
going to be part of the personnel policy manual, or just,
It can be incorporated.
how will the employees know?
Now that it's approved, it can be circulated, beginning with the elected officials. And the requirements and the procedures are in this policy. So, and purchasing even got involved in this procedure simply because we do have vendors that will need to follow the same procedures, the same bylaws that are in this policy.
Thank you, Ron.
Yes, sir, thank you.
Thank you, Ren. That is awesome.
All right, next, item 20, discussion and possible action on approval for a credit card to be issued to Joanne
Motion to
Montemayor.
approve.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nobody. 5-0. Item 21, discussion and possible action regarding the bid submission for 2018-2019 uniform services.
Good morning.
Morning.
made a presentation last week.
You started off real strong, good morning, and then.
Well-
Is there more?
I just thrown a curveball right before I'm walking up here.
Did you hit it?
It hit me. Okay. If you look at the uniform part at the very bottom of the tabulation sheet that I provided everyone, UniFirst, the correction is that there was, I went back to look and verify how many sets of uniforms are invoiced on a weekly basis. I had calculated the tabulation with 5 sets of uniforms a week, right? We work 5 days, we come and pick up 5 used uniforms and deliver 5. Well, no, it's not that way. The contract reads, we're gonna charge you for 11 uniforms, even though I pick up 5 and clean 5 at a time, but it's 11. And that's current, with the other company as well, which makes no sense to me, but they all charge the same. It left you 11 uniforms, so I charge you for 11 sets of uniforms every week, 52 weeks a year. That's what made the price adjusted, and that's what I'm bringing up to. That's what I'm bringing up to the court, because I didn't want to go forward with.
I'm really confused. So they pick up 5 sets every week, because they pick up every week.
That's right.
And do we get billed every 2 weeks, or how do we get billed?
You
'Cause
get
we
billed
get
once a week for 11 uniforms.
Yes.
Because they provide 11 uniforms, which is supposed to be for 2 weeks. So the first week, they pick up the 5. That gives the employees till 5 to wear the next week, but you're still paying for the entire 11 a lot.
And you have to have the 5 ready for the following week already. So
And then
they deliver
next
every week.
week, they bring back the other 5 they picked up 2 weeks before, they drop off the other ones.
So the rent is, you're in
paying
possession
rent
of
on all
11
that.
sets of
Okay.
uniforms, so I'm gonna charge you 11 sets of uniform every week.
Yeah. So the rental
It's more
includes
of
the
a
cleaning
rental
or whatever?
than
Yeah,
a
than the
cleaning
cleaning.
service,
Okay.
that's correct, yes.
All right.
So the adjustment was originally.
Instead of 7,000 units,
Just the 10.
or 14,000 units, it's more like 34,000 units.
So either way,
Either way, the total numbers, UniFirst is $10,270 a year, and Cintas, $18,496. We had selected UniFirst, I just wanted to bring back,
Motion to
and clear
approve.
that up.
Motion approved. Need a second?
Second.
Second. Any more questions or discussion? If not, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nobody, 5-0.
We have several contracts, new contracts up for renewal on copiers. We'll start with the district clerk's office. The current contract is for $213.79 a month. The new proposed contract is for $224.66 a month.
This is being paid out of what?
All of these are being paid out of copiers fund,
Out of the general fund.
out of the general.
But none of these are being used for any of the other stuff that they have special funds for.
I spoke to the
Can't be
district
split.
clerk.
So why are we not splitting it?
That just hasn't been a process yet.
Well, we have to make it our problem.
Okay.
I mean, they're sitting there with funds that can pay for, I understand part of this has to be paid out of the general fund because part of it is for, but it can still be split out. So, I mean, I would be more inclined to say we split it at least 50.
I spoke to the district clerk, and she said, yes, she had some funds, and yes, she would be willing to split.
Is that part of your motion to pay for it?
Make a motion to approve and pay 50% out of the,
I would just be tentative about 50%.
what percentage?
I don't know, we haven't looked into it, I can look into it, but.
Then to pay the proportion equal to the amount of usage by those funds.
That's
Perfect.
Okay.
There's a motion, I need a second. And this is for the, is this for item 22, 23, and 24?
No, just the first one, and then the second one is also for
Wait, let's
the,
vote on the 22 first, because there's a motion and a second. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, nobody, 5-0. All right, now, item 23, discussion possible action regarding county attorney's office copy of service contract.
They go up or down? They increased. County, decreased by $118 a month.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nobody. 5-0. Item 20
They don't have funds to use for this.
Item 24, discussion possible action regarding Justice Ortiz Barrera's copier service contract.
That increased by $14. And they're all standard DIR contracts now.
Okay.
This is justice, we're talking about the justice.
Yeah. Increase
This is a-
$14.
And don't they have funds?
What's the
I
name?
know. They do? Tech fund? Okay. They have enough to cover it. Qualifies for that. They have enough to cover it for the year?
No.
No. No, with a proportion.
You want to make a motion?
Motion to approve with the portion paid out of the tech fund.
Okay. There's a motion. I need a second.
Second.
Second. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nobody. 5-0. Then item 25, discussion and possible action regarding the request for precinct 1 to purchase a zero-turn mower not to exceed for the price of $7,000. Operating funds to be used for the purchase.
Motion to approve 25.
Second.
No.
He's buying much of a mower.
Motion to approve the 7,000.
I think Commissioner Flores second. There's a motion and a second. Any more discussion? If not, all those in favor, indicate by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nobody.
That's Commissioner Wardlaw has a special fund.
I think he has a.
All right, item 26, the monthly treasury report. Adrian?
Commissioner Nettleton, you think you might have a special?
Yeah, I think he has a special. Or you get special either way.
Morning, Commissioners. Morning, Judge. This one's the real deal and needs approval.
Motion to approve.
Motion, I need a second. All those in favor, indicate by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nobody. 5-0. All right, item 27, the monthly HR report. So move. Need a second? Second. All right, any questions or discussion? Juanita, go ahead.
She's trying to get up here.
She's trying to get up.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. The auditor and myself have been discussing some concerns in regards to how the appointments are made when we go through the monthly report. Does the pay, when we have new hires, does the pay become effective immediately on the day that's being recommended, or is it based on when the court approves that? And I believe Matt can elaborate a little bit more.
Should be based on the dates they're hired.
Okay.
On the date they're hired, on the letter we received from the elected official.
Yeah.
So if we just forget to bring that letter in 6 months later, they want 6 months of retro pay.
I don't know what the situation is, but.
I'm just giving examples. So if we miss court and we just forget, things forget.
The thing you need to understand is this court doesn't have the authority to hire and fire
I understand that, yes. And that's
any other elected official's employees. So when they hire, all this court is doing is authorizing you to issue them a check. We're not authorizing the hiring and firing of that
And
individual.
approve the pay. The pay, yeah, okay.
So it would- we're approving that the pay meets the requirements of the position, yeah.
Okay. So the letters that are sent into HR, those aren't really a big deal because we can just send
Not
them
a
in
big
anytime.
deal. It's part of the process.
It's part of the process.
What's the situation?
The situation is we're not getting letters in time.
In time for?
In time for the effective dates. Where employees are being hired on a certain date, and we receive the letter days later, weeks later, times like that.
How do you know they're being hired?
From the letter.
From the letter that we get. I reach out to the elected official or department head asking for that letter, because that's part of the process. If you're getting hired or terminated or resign, or whatever the issue may be, that gets the process rolling for our office and the auditors getting people in the system. But we have employees that'll come in and say, I was told that I was hired on this day, but I'm getting paid from this day forward. What about the time? Or I got promoted on this day, what about the time? County has never, that I know of, given retro pay to employees. And somebody can go file an EEOC claim, and then we'll have to deal with the issue.
Okay, but we're talking about retro pay, and in a different way. What I'm asking is, whenever an elected official hires somebody and they send them to you and they haven't given you a letter, and they start payroll, you start payroll, do you have to have a letter to start payroll?
Yes.
Okay.
That's what's giving us
Because
permission.
that is retro, because you haven't started payroll until you get the letter.
Exactly.
Is that what you're saying?
And we,
Because there's two different things. They're starting payroll without getting a letter, which has happened a lot. And then they're starting payroll, because you found out that people got hired. And so,
And promotions is another big deal as well.
Promotions.
We're unaware of promotions until a different time, and then we're asked to bulk up their check to make up all that time.
do we have a policy about promotions?
That's kind of what we'd like to figure out.
Okay.
I think another issue that we've been trying to address, and we're going to add it to our policy manual, discuss it with the committee, is the actual start date. We've been looking to probably have people start with a pay period, which would be a Monday when we start a new pay period versus having them start on a Wednesday or a Thursday or a Friday of a week that already passed.
I got a question. You keep mentioning policy, so wouldn't it be part of the policy committee to sort of figure it
Yes.
out and then bring it back to us?
A good example, if you look at when we started Adrian Vitela, I started him with the next pay period, which was the 24th, and I think that's what the policy manager should be.
Should be.
Should be.
And we have that to address it with the committee.
So why
I'm
wouldn't they
against
just
that.
hide it and bring it
Yeah,
back?
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm against that only because I don't know, but, I mean, you can effectively say that somebody's gonna start on this day, but when you're in an office like mine and I need to fill that slot, I can't wait 2 weeks to get services to the public because it's not in the beginning of a pay period or at the end of a pay period.
Well, but what happens with that also, with all due respect, you request to post a position, we post it, and it goes for a week or two, and then we get the applications to you, and then you still spend a month, 2, 3 months before you make a decision, and then you make a decision, and then you want them now. And it's 3 months later that position was vacant. So you really didn't have a rush from the get-go.
Well, the other
respect,
Couldn't y'all, why can't the policy committee look at it?
We could, that's something we need to do, but what is the general?
Just like I did it with Adrian, I would like to start it at the same when the pay period starts, not Monday. And I could have started even last Monday, but
But
that's
what Commissioner Owens is saying is that that's a decision for the Personnel Policy Committee to make when you bring it back to the
Yeah.
court. But while y'all are considering that stuff, there's also, I don't know why it's questioned that you have to go to Texas Workforce Commission. You know, and people sometimes, I don't know why they don't do it, but they have to go through you, Juanita. It's posted at Texas Workforce Commission. You can't do it on the side on your own and send them to Human Resources and say, I've hired this person. So for whatever reason, we have to include that too in the Personnel Policy.
And I don't think we've had a problem with that. When we have people come in, I've had citizens come in and say, well, I spoke to this person, I spoke to this commissioner, they told me to come see you. We usually explain the process. You know, we can't accept the application. You need to get registered with the workforce, go over there, they'll help you out.
But I'm talking about elected officials, who may have a problem with that. They're not regular people.
Right, just come up with a recommendation, bring it to Commissioner Court and...
Okay.
Okay? All right. Okay, there's a motion and a second. All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye, all those opposed, nobody? 5-0. Item 28, discussion of possible action on the completion of the county-specific wellness initiative.
Judge, back in July of 2017, the court adopted a county-specific wellness program for all county employees, elected and department heads. What this did, it outlined 2 requirements, which was have an annual physical during the 2017-18 fiscal year, and then also do the stepping challenge. The physical required that if you did not have the physical done, you would pay 5% of the premium for this year, starting in October for a year, which comes out to around $24. On the stepping challenge, you would also, if you finished, the employee, excludes elected officials, would get an extra day of vacation. So having gone back and looked at Blue Cross and Blue Shield, they provided us a report, and we have 9 people that did not complete the physical, 2 elected officials, and the rest are regular employees. So we will
You
start
keep looking
doing-
at me. Don't be looking at me. Don't look at me no more.
So we will start making those changes and add those deductions to the pay process in October.
And do the employees know that they're going to have to be?
Yeah,
Okay.
I, towards the end in July, and I even gave some of the employees till August, I send emails, talk to them
Should send out
personally,
plenty of notices.
reached
Yeah.
out, asking, and some people just
And
decided not
what is
to.
the fee? How much is it?
It's, the cost is gonna be
$24.
$24, $24.96, a pay period, well, a month, I'm sorry. So it'll be split into 2 payments.
I'm not on the list, man.
No, sir.
Well, if you didn't get a notice and you don't know what's going on?
Yeah.
you're not on the list.
All right, do I need a motion on that?
Motion to, or do we need to approve it, or are you wanting us to approve something, or are you just giving us a
Just
presentation?
Just to authorize the deductions.
Okay, motion to approve the deductions.
Second. There's a motion and a second. All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nobody, 5-0. Next, monthly county audit report.
Morning, Judge.
So moved. Need a second?
Second.
Second. All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nobody, 5-0. Item 30, discussion possible action on payment approval on invoices that do not comply with purchasing policy.
It's got real big,
We did, we had to go to portrait to landscape.
so, is that everybody trying to spend their budget with the other?
It's possible, who knows? But we will probably be changing this process next year, and we'll be sending out letters to get better explanations to provide to the court for the reasons.
Why?
There's a motion to approve. Need a second?
Second.
Second.
Mark seconded.
All right, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nobody, 5-0. Item 31, discussion possible action on the budget amendment for precinct 2, $671.15 for operating to savings needed to facilitate 10% on TxDOT-CTIF grant.
We wrote a PO for the full amount. Evidently, there was 10% needed to come out of somewhere else, and this is what is taken care of. That makes a motion to approve.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nobody. Thank you, Mike. Next, discussion possible action on the budget workshop 2018-2019, and I think the sheriff wanted to, anybody else after the sheriff who wants to say anything about the budget? Go ahead, Sheriff. Okay. Anybody else? Mr. Muskis, anybody else? All right, Sheriff first, and then Mr. Muskis. Go ahead.
Judge and court, Judge, after our discussion yesterday, decided, and after visiting with the auditor this morning, that just wait till next year for that request that I wanted to make. But also want the court on the chief deputy salary, raising it to $61,662.47, same as the foreman, the county foreman. The individual that sits in this position brings 49 years of law enforcement experience to the position.
What are they making now?
Sir?
What are they making now?
The new budget has them at 58.
58.
Yes, sir.
I'll make a motion to approve the pay increase to the level of the foremen.
What's the level of the foreman?
61,662, that's what he said.
Okay, there's a motion. Need a second? Second? Any more discussion? Not all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Aye.
4-1, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, do we have anything in executive session, Council? Yeah, that,
We do, though. We have something little.
Were y'all gonna see if,
Are you guys there?
Matt said he didn't want to talk.
executive session, we're now going to executive session pursuant to the Texas Government Code 55, oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I forgot about that. Sorry about that.
Just to bring up two occurrences for some of the budget line items. As you notice, public notices and advertising, but line item has increased twice here towards the end of the year, one for 3,000, one for 2,000. We've increased a lot of the advertising for the CDBG grants has taken, I can't tell you the exact amount, I'd have to go back and look. And then the reposting of some of the stuff.
What do you need?
I would recommend to increase that budget by $5,000.
Motion to approve.
That line item, I'm sorry.
Come on.
It's a general line item, it's not mine, but I just brought that up to the court.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. Any more question, discussion? And all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
I was opposed, nobody?
I was approached by the, county agent, Ms. Cooper, Emily?
Emily Grant.
Grant, I'm sorry, Emily Grant. She was inquiring about restructuring the copier contract to include for color copies. I looked into that, and there's gonna be an additional $1,500 plus some renegotiation of the contract. But if, right now it's structured to where you have a set amount of black and whites, and you have a set amount, and then all the color part is billed as you use it, by a nickel a page, I believe. And she said, well, I want to include $1,000 copies a month. Therefore, it will not come out of her office expense, because color copies, anything outside of your copier contract comes out of your office supplies.
I thought all of our copies came out of office supplies, period.
No.
I'm sorry, what?
I thought all of our copiers came out of office supplies.
No, we have a separate line item for copiers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, because her office supply budget would not be able to hold up for 1,000 copies a month, which is her,
I'll make that
motion. Well,
Second.
Motion and a second.
what's the motion?
To increase, you said you needed to increase the line item.
No, I haven't finished yet.
Oh.
I haven't finished yet. I was just bringing up the district.
$1,500.
No.
Roy, it's a motion to give her whatever she wants.
That's right.
If we increase her office expenses, it would cover the same amount of copies at $600 a month, a year increase. So I recommend you increase her office supply budget for $600. If you pay 1,000 copies a month at a nickel a piece, that's $50 a month. 12 months is $600 versus restructuring the contract for $1,500.
You want to
So
amend
you
your
moved
motion?
$600 into her
Yes.
office.
I recommend you put in $600 into her office.
You're gonna do that, Mark?
We'll make 15.
Versus, oh, you still want to give
No,
it?
no.
No,
Are you amending your motion to put 600 in office?
Yes.
I second accept.
Okay. There's a motion and a second. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nobody?
Motion.
Anything else, Mr. Commissioners?
No.
All right, so
Quit confusing, just
we're
get to
not
the
going to
point.
executive session pursuant to the government
Oh,
code.
no, he's not done.
Oh, no.
Yeah, sorry, I had some items as well. Is that okay? These are just items that we talked about during the budget cycle, which were never brought up again, and I don't know if they just kind of fell off the radar, or if it's something we anticipated. We were looking at the parking lot. That is not in the budget, the parking lot across the street. We are
To do
not
what?
doing- Okay, we got the
I guess.
okay, we got the pavement on the west gate. That amount is not in this budget.
The money that we,
That's
the
79.
100,000, it was 100,000 for that loop road around the deal that we set aside in this year's
We
budget,
set aside in this year's budget.
but we didn't add it to the next year's budget.
Right.
So we need to add that.
You want to add it, or you just want to reduce contingency?
I don't know how much it's gonna actually come to, so I mean, I just said 100 originally. I mean, I guess we could utilize it, see what the actual costs are as we
Take it
start
out.
buying material and then reduce contingency by that amount.
Okay. We have no room for the salary study. We haven't done anything on there. We're not sure about an increase in RCI. They haven't gotten back to us. There was some talk about some dump trucks. Okay. The 40-hour work week, that was talked about. Is there?
I still think we need to look at it going to a 40-hour work week. But, no, that's.
Yeah, we can't
part of the
absorb
bigger
the cost,
discussion.
yeah, we can't absorb the cost right now. Can
There
we?
shouldn't be any cost.
Well, you're gonna have to give them more money.
We
Why
hired,
do I have to give them more money? If I've got employees working 40 hours, making the same as a guy working 37 and a half, why am I compensating the guy that's going from 37 and a half to 40 more money than the guy that was already working 40 anyway?
because we hire them hourly.
37 and a half.
37 and a half.
When we hire them hourly. So you're paying them by the hour.
So we have half our employees, some of our employees working 40, getting the same amount.
No.
And some of our employees working 37 and a half.
They're getting paid 40 times the hourly rate.
Mhm.
That's how they're being hired. So somebody did the math wrong, because we
There-
post hourly.
You have a position set at $21,500, whether it's a 40-hour week or a 37-and-a-half-hour week. They're still making the same 21. The guy making 37 and a half is making more per hour than the guy that's doing 40.
Well, somebody did the math.
It does the math wrong, but I don't agree with it.
Somebody needs to adjust it then.
I don't agree with it.
Commissioner Flores, how many hours a week are you guys working?
40 hours, 8 to 5, Monday to Friday, sir.
Because don't we hire hourly, Juanita? So then if we hire hourly and they're working 40 hours, they should be paid hourly times 40.
The way it has worked in the past
No.
is that you have, up to right now, is
Okay.
that you have an employee, if he makes $21,450, he's either gonna get paid for the 37 and a half, or he's gonna get paid for the 40, but he's still only gonna get paid $21,450.
Correct.
But
But he's gonna put in more hours if he gets hired on his job description as 40.
But TAC converted all our salaries to hourly and said that's the way we need to hire. And so.
I'm telling you the way it is right now.
But TAC
And when you hire
converted all our
somebody,
salaries to hourly, and that's the way we're supposed to be hired.
Is that a motion, Commissioner Nettleton?
I think everybody should be a 40-hour work week. I don't think it should have any effect on the payroll.
I agree with that also. It should be 40 hours a week.
If y'all want to discuss it in more length, and I don't care, but I don't agree with it, that we're paying two groups of employees the same amount of money, and this guy's working 40 and this guy's working 37 and a half.
Well, the easy adjustment is to pay the 40-hour employee the hourly rate. That's the easy adjustment.
The budgeted amount is still the same, whether it's 37 and a half
Well, you
or
have to
40.
change that.
The only thing that happens is the employee that works 37 and a half, if they work 2.5 hours extra during that week, those 2.5 become comp time. So they bank it as comp.
Yeah, and the other guys are working 40 before they get their comp time.
Yeah, but if you're being paid by the hour, I mean, I don't know why it's not making sense. If you're getting paid by the hour and you work 40 hours, it's 40 hours times the hour. If you're working 37 and a half, it's 37 and a half times the hour. That should be your salary. Why are you shaking your head no?
because that's not the way it is.
No, I know that that's not the way it is. What I'm saying is that's the easy adjustment to make, so that everybody makes the same amount of money based on the number of hours that they work.
So we could reduce the amount of money they make per hour, but it would still be the same.
No, if it's 5%, this is the time to make the adjustment.
They get hired by the hour. There's an hourly rate for that
Right, and
job.
we can reduce that hourly rate so that when we times that by 40, it still equals the same annual rate.
But that wouldn't be fair. That's what Commissioner Nettleton is saying. That's the not fair part.
Here's the difference, is the guy that's working 40 hours a week is only making $10.33 an hour. For the same job, the guy that's working 37 and a half is making $11.02 an hour.
And when he takes a day off, he's charged 8 hours, not 7.5. I'm sorry, he's charged 10.
Well, in our case, it's
Yeah.
10, but I mean, some of them are 8, and the other ones are charging at
7.5.
7.5 and getting to bank the other half hour. It's just-
I get a headache
My
sometimes.
personal deal is that we move everybody to 4-hour weeks, pay 40-hour weeks, and if the pay stays the way it is.
Is there a motion?
I'll make that into a motion.
Second.
Okay, there's a motion, a second. All those in favor, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Aye.
I abstain, man. I'm still a bit confused on that, so. All right, that's,
Is there an effective date?
The October, it will depend on if the budget gets approved, but it'll be October 1st.
okay.
Well, we're talking about not fair. Instead of fixing it for a few, you messed it up for everybody else. But okay.
Okay. There's the okay, let's go now. Executive, is that it, Matt? Or you still have one more?
And then on we talked about the Frontera project and transferring that out. Are we still transferring that out, or are we just leaving it in the general as committed for Frontera?
I would leave it in the general as committed. I don't think you're gonna use it this year, or
Not this.
not this fiscal year.
But next year I'm gonna use it. So
Next
we use it
fiscal
this
year.
year.
And then the county attorney wanted a line item for visitors,
What?
witnesses.
For visitors. For that too. Or for trial costs.
Okay, trial costs.
That would be for witnesses and exhibits and that kind of stuff.
You just want to create a line item?
Yes, sir.
Or you need to add money to the line item?
We're going to create one.
Create a line item.
And
We're gonna move, what to what?
$1,000.
$1,000?
From?
General fund.
From contingency. Where do y'all move?
If you could just add it on our budget, we've had a couple of trials lately that witnesses have now moved on, and when they travel to testify, we have to reimburse them their fees. We calculated, and it was about $790 or so, so we're thinking about $1,000 should cover for the full year.
Motion to approve creating a line item and adding $1,000.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nobody. 5-0.
Thank you very much.
Get it? All right, now we will go into the session. Pursuant to the Texas Government Code 551.071, parentheses 2.
Take the sum.
You've been trying for a while.
All right, the time is now 10. We'll bring it back and not clock was taken. Ramiro, and on that item that we tabled, we just need to look at, on that item that we tabled, we're just gonna look at it, talk about council before we make an action on that item. Okay? All right, next. Any, class to be approved? Joanna, no? No certificates of compliance? We need a motion to approve the monthly report. So move. Second, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nobody, 5-0. Approval of bills on for payment.
Move.
Second, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nobody, 5-0. Nothing else, this meeting is now adjourned.